Psalm 116:15 says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. So on this side, when a saint dies, God says that's wonderful, it's precious. On this side, when a wicked man dies, God says, I hate that. Well, because they're going to a place where they can't be helped. They're going to a place where there's no more sorrow or suffering. That's a good thing. They're going to a good place. God's okay with where they're going. Now, I use the word saint. You may not know what that means. Most people think a saint is somebody that did miracles in the Catholic Church, canonizes them, and gives them a special place. That's not what a saint is in the Bible. A saint in the Bible is somebody who believes in Jesus. That's all. If you believe in Jesus, if you've truly given him your heart, he's cleaned out all your sin. He's made you holy. You are a saint. God's okay with saints dying. Now, you may not be a bank robber or a murderer, but if you've not had all that junk cleaned out, you're a sinner. So there's saints and sinners. Now, all saints sin too, but classification, they're saints and sinners. God is okay with saints dying. I've heard this said, God buries his workmen, but he doesn't bury his work. Mark Twain, listen to this. He said this, let us endeavor so to live that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. Guy who makes a living burying people, be sorry when you die, you've lived right. Death for the believer can be a precious thing. Listen to this, something else I read. Death is not extinguishing the light from the Christian. It's putting out the lamp because the dawn has come. See, we don't have to fear death if we've given our lives to Jesus. If we've entrusted our souls to a faithful Creator, we don't have to fear death at all. It's just a doorway. A lot of believers come up to me and say, I don't fear death, I fear dying. The pain that might come with it. It might. A lot of people die in pain. A lot of people don't. A lot of people die in their sleep. But I tell you what, how many of you women have had babies? Let me see your hands. You got nothing to worry about. That's going to be fine for you, smooth. Nothing's going to hurt as much as that hurt. Okay. And you're all right with that, you're good to go. And you know what my wife did? She had a baby, she wanted another one. I understand why God had women have the babies and not the men. I might have had one. I said, that hurts. I'm not doing that ever again. Human race would have died off. That would have been the end of it. My wife, I was there with her. I knew how much it hurt. She was squeezing my hand so hard that if I didn't squeeze back with all my might, she would have broke my thumb right off. I'm sure the skin would have stayed attached. But I'm serious. She squeezed my hand that hard. One time she was delivering, let's see, which child was this? This was number 3. This was Michaela. She grabbed a hold of one of those things on the bed in the hospital, ripped it right off. It's like, dang! We've all experienced excruciating pain. Don't worry about death. Don't worry about it if you love the Lord. It's not going to be that bad. Death can be a precious thing. How many of you have ever heard of D.L. Moody? Oh, a lot more of you than I thought, because he was real famous like in the late 1800s. He was an evangelist. He was one of those guys that he was known all over the Western world for his preaching, traveled through Europe and the United States, spoke to crowds of tens of thousands of people before they had microphones. He was highly influential, led lots of people to the Lord. Very famous man. He's also the one responsible for starting the Moody Bible Institute, from which I graduated, and has put out probably more missionaries than any other institution the world has ever seen. He's a very influential man, even down to this day. There's a bit about him when he was dying that came from the Moody magazine, so it comes from the source. Let me read this to you. Thursday, December 21st, 1899, after cutting short a Kansas City crusade and returning home in ill health, D.L. Moody told his family, I'm not discouraged. I want to live as long as I'm useful, but when my work is done, I want to be up and off. The next day, Moody awakened after a restless night. In careful, measured words, he said, Earth recedes. Heaven opens before me. His son Will concluded his father was dreaming. No, this is no dream, Will. It's beautiful. It's like a trance. If this is death, it is sweet. There's no valley here. God is calling me, and I must go. I've got chills. I've read this several times. I got chills yesterday, too. Don't be afraid of death. It's going to be a sweet ushering into the presence of the Lord.